PM. Okay, so I think we ended last game with you guys you guys flew around the world and dropped Marco off in just the equivalent of like dropping him off in the Australian outback and leaving him to fend for himself.
Oh, I remember
because he's a turd. Right. So, and then you guys all congregated in Ol Dobbs Tavern, and you were going to go over what we have discovered so far and what needs to be done next from here. Kevin, I have here it is. Okay. So for our pre-game question, I actually came up with this one ahead of time. We're not rolling for it. The pre-game question this time is, what do you order at Ol Dobbs Tavern for lunch? You can get an appetizer, you can get a meal, maybe get yourself a drink. What's everyone getting?
Ruda's had a hell of a day, and he's ordering strictly just a straight pangalactic gargle blaster.
Okay. Yeah. Dob
And a
respects
protein
that.
shake.
I'm going to go up to the counter and I'm going to be like, my good sir, do you have any technetium that's less than 2 half-lives old?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't carry heavy elements here.
Oh, that's fine, because you see, technetium is the lightest of the radioactive elements.
I do still think that you would have better luck checking in one of the other planets.
Okay, I'm sad, and you see it on my face.
Okay.
There's a server or whatever that walks up to Roy, asks him what he wants, and he just looks and says, "Tears fall from heaven. A heart opens the floodgate to grief and sorrow." And then he pulls out pills because he only eats pills. He doesn't eat actual food.
Oh, jeez.
They're more efficient.
I'm trying to... Oh, okay. I do have it. Loading my Chapter 3 notes now. Where is this
Do the
dude?
pills you eat have any kind of like actual nutritional value?
Yes.
Or are they mostly placebo?
No, they are like imagine like astronaut food.
Okay.
So like they're actually somewhat big. They look kind of like old man pills.
You just take giant horse pills. No
Like
water,
fucking-
just dry.
Like Carter in Family Guy.
What is the caloric density of these freaking pills?
What'd you say?
What is the caloric density of these pills?
I mean, it's got to be pretty high because you need what? You 2,000 plus calories a day. So there's some dense pills, but this is also future space times. So
That's true.
So I just put a person on the map. This is actually not Ol Dobb. Ol Dobb was his father. This is Dobb Jr.
Did Dobb Jr. also get coronavirus?
No.
Okay.
What?
Is that? Do you assume that that's how Ol Dobb died?
Well, no. I mean, Don and Don Jr. both got coronavirus.
Oh, I
so,
see.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
Can you mind if I go next?
Yeah.
So me and Courtney just watched AI this past week, and I really think that
The old
It
Steven
fits-
Spielberg film?
yeah, the Steven Spielberg joint,
Oh wow.
and it really fits in line with how I think mate treats eating, like since they found out about it, and they like to just watch people eat, but also mimic eating, but not actually do it. So I put an image in the chat.
Great scene.
So yeah,
remember
that.
I'll just mostly have an empty plate and like no glass, and I'll just copy whatever it is that everyone else is doing just to fit in.
I love it.
Masticationsimulation.exe.
Very good.
Yes. But it also makes me a little sad because I kind of wish that I could enjoy the foods that everyone else does, but I don't have a mouth.
Okay.
Sad.exe.
What's this guy's name? Anwar. Anwar is going to order. I think Anwar is going to order their steak and fries, and they probably. I was gonna say whiskey on the rocks, but I think that's actually too nice for him. Fuck. He orders Natty Boh.
Oh, gross.
Anwar orders Galactic
Boh.
Boh.
Ugh. It tastes like dark matter.
Yeah.
Hey, I take offense to that.
Dark matter is a Nova delicacy.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Wow.
I say oh my god because I'm also thinking of dark matter being shit from Nibbler in Futurama.
Yes.
Just a giant glass of nibbler pellets.
Yeah.
What does Aveline order?
I think Aveline's a variety eater. Like she probably is one of those people that orders 3 whole courses, but then just picks at all 3 of them. So she's probably starting off with some cheese fries, and then she's gonna get the nice burger with more fries, but she doesn't want those to be cheese fries. She wants those to have salt, pepper, and ketchup. And and
I do
then
need at least one more meal. Come on.
then she probably gets a shepherd pie for dessert because that makes sense to her. And she's having mixed cocktails all throughout it.
Okay, very good. Knox is definitely just going to ask if he can pinch off of your plate because he knows from experience that you're not going to finish all of that.
Hey mate.
I was going to roll her eyes, but acquiesce because it makes her feel fuzzy feelings from old times.
Okay, and Lise is going to. Lise orders just like a burger and fries. But she definitely gives Knox a look, and it is a very are you sure you want to do this? Look. Okay.
So hold on a second. Roy turns to mate and hands him a small disc. And tells him, well, as you know, Roy is a sentient or a mechanical being of some kind in a biological body. So he has a perspective on certain human senses that most robotic or mechanical things would not have. On the disc is a series of scripts and equations that closely approximates the human concept of taste.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's so
really
cool.
No nutritional content will come from the food still, but you'll get a sense of taste, though some things will be a little bit backwards. So like pineapples taste like bananas, but so Roy hands you kind of silently, along with an email message that he sends without actually speaking it out to other people, this little piece of hardware.
So did you just give me the equivalent of synesthesia?
Synesthesia for robots, yeah.
Okay,
No.
cool. Is there any way that I could add that as a trait for?
Oh, yeah,
for
absolutely.
It should totally be an aspect.
Yeah.
Robo taste. Now
So now you
We've
can be
established-
Robo Mulder.
we've established that Mate's head is kind of like one of those security cameras. It's just a black sphere with some cameras and LEDs. which means they don't have a mouth. So
I'm sure Mate has an intake port of some kind where he can just like a little tray where he can just put food and then draw the tray back into himself for like a disk drive on a computer.
Oh no, we did establish Mate has the bender tummy. He can just open up his chest and store things.
You got a cavity. Cool.
Yeah. I have like a drawer.
Okay, so you're just going to so what does Mate order for their first ever meal?
So Aveline is a big influence on Mate's decision. So whatever Aveline ordered, Mate ordered 2 of because they must be good. So yeah, I think I'm starting with the salt, pepper, and ketchup fries, I guess.
Oh my god.
So also a little bit more storytelling. Roy gave this to you thinking that it would disgust you with humans.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
like,
all this did was make me feel
the
closer.
concept, because like sensing and the concepts of taste and things like that kind of turn Roy off, which is why he eats pills. So he was just like, "Oh, this will be a good trick," and like gave this to you. But I guess it turned out to be something you like.
Yeah, no, I think it's great because I still can't technically eat the food. This is still just my pantomime of enjoying it, so that I can. It's like, hey, now I fit in with the group. We're all doing the same thing, right?
No, I want you guys to know that your bill is gonna come out to like $300.
That's okay. We're still rich, right?
Yeah. And 90% of that is Aveline and Mate. But also there's at least $60 of pangalactic gargle blasters going to Ruda.
Oh, dude, at least.
Yeah. Okay. So, I have to finish this haichu that I stuffed in my mouth, and then we will continue on with business.
Mate, you enjoy these things? This is a positive experience for you? Interesting.
I mean, they seem to be having fun. Have you tried it? I'm just gonna hold up a fry to your face.
Oh, yes, I've eaten something once. The process of turning carbon into goo in my mandibular cavity is not something that I prefer.
I am also sitting at the table and I go, I have contented myself with the trace quantities of raydon in the atmosphere.
Okay. All right. So Nox wants to go over what we've found so far and where we're going to go from here. So, actually, you know what?
Die? Raydon's the invisible killer.
I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die.
I'll just go with you've been removing it from the air in such a way that it's making this restaurant safer. Otherwise, it would have been shut down for health code violation.
Was I supposed to tell you when we got to high radon quantity areas?
Yes, that would be preferable next time.
Oh.
Thank you, Nova.
Okay, noted.
Okay, so
Nice.
okay, no, it definitely wouldn't be. I think Nox would say that he wants to go over what we've found so far, and then he says that, and then he pauses and he looks at Lise expectingly, and Lise kind of rolls her eyes and sighs and starts iterating. So the first thing you guys were trying to investigate is what exactly has been happening with the Buchinian royal house. And what you found was Darach was at some point kidnapped by SportRiot and replaced with a body double. The same kind of body double that is currently controlling King Ire. These body doubles seem to be controlled by some kind of telepathic signals being transmitted by the creature in Ire's bedroom, and and the creatures, the body doubles, have the same warp signature, or at least a very similar warp signature to Roy, which is odd. You know that after he was kidnapped, Darach was brought somewhere, and then he was returned with a fried nervous system, and his original body, the body of the real King Darach, was buried in the catacombs with a fried nervous system. You do not know where the body double of King Darach is. You know that people have reported seeing Darach's ghost wandering around, but nobody, when you checked the tomb, you didn't see any, and when Aveline was looking around the castle, neither of you saw any ghost for King Darach. You know that people have been going missing at night. Let's see. You know that Ire has been, acting very obviously in favor of SportRiot since taking the throne. And you know that there is an anti-SportRiot organization that is trying to maintain Bucchinian independence, which meets here in Ol Dobbs Tavern. And that Jenny, daughter of the SportRiot representative, is a member of that organization. You know that Ire used to be a member of that organization, but is no longer. And you know that what's his name? The captain of the guard? Hader. Thank you. Hader has been investigating the king's death himself and was put on administrative leave because he was asking uncomfortable questions. As you have not heard anything that indicates that Hader is part of this same organization, but you do know that Hader is has some kind of relationship with Jenny going on. I think. Oh, and this is not actually a significant clue, but the Beggar's Feast has been canceled, and you guys are going to try to put on a rogue Beggar's Feast. So
I can't remember from last time. Did we get a lot of pushback for getting that done, or were they just like, "Hey, if you bankroll it, you can do it"?
Oh no. When you suggested it, the king took it and ran with it. The king is actually going to resume the Beggar's Feast, but he's going to remove the free components of it, so nobody's allowed to bring their own potluck food, and instead, it's just going to be like a buffet sponsored by SportRiot, where everybody has to pay by the plate.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might have to take matters into your own hands if you want it to be not terrible.
Ruda just wants to invade SportRiot and just go right through the friggin' front door and blast everything.
Okay. Things that can be pushed forwards. Action items. You guys could try to make contact with the anti-SportRiot resistance. Storm, SportRiot, HQ. One thing that's worth noting, if the intent is to find the body of the original King Ire and thus, break SportRiot's control there and bring the king back to his people and all that stuff, he probably isn't going to be just on like the factory floor, so you might need to do some investigation to figure out where he is being held, and that might involve interrogating some SportRiot employees or whatever. Another thing you could do is deal with the King Ire and the Darach body double. We know where the Ire body double is. We don't know where the Darach body double is. Does that sound like it covers everything?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 3 action items there. Contact the anti-SportRiot resistance, storm SportRiot, and find the dude and take out the body doubles.
Yep.
Yeah, Roy is more interested in fucking up SportRiot.
Mm-hmm. I figured that's like where
Doesn't
the group is
really
right now.
care that much about the kings and the body doubles and all that, but that's because Roy sees that as a situation of the milk's already been spilled. There's no putting that back in the glass. Those people are dead. They've been body replaced, and the only thing that's going to make any difference in what happens to them going forward is our action towards SportRiot.
Well, hold on a second, though. Why don't we take a day to observe SportRiot and see if the body doubles ever, go into SportRiot to do anything? And then we storm SportRiot when we know a body double is in there, and we, kill them in there.
I have an
So
Ruda,
wait, is our goal not to just expose the secret? Or we're trying to eliminate them, full stop?
Well, Roy wants to figure out why these body doubles, because I assume Aveline has told the party that these things have warp signatures similar to Roy's.
Mm-hmm.
So Roy's trying to figure out what SportRiot did to make something look like it has a warp signature like his.
Well, then, do you want to try to capture one of the body doubles for study?
I mean, I don't think Roy would want to do that because he could just study himself. If they have something that's similar to, isn't it similar but different in some way? Roy's is, there's this sort of more like a swarm of locusts.
Yeah, so we described it as Roy's warp shadow looks like a bunch of cubes all stacked up. Their warp shadows look like a bunch of spheres.
Gotcha.
But they're similar. They have similar vibes.
Ruda has an idea. He used to be sponsored by SportRiot, so he could impersonate. He can kind of pretend like he's coming back, and he knows a lot of people in the SportRiot repertoire. He could play both sides, so to speak, and try to infiltrate SportRiot to find the body doubles with you all.
Another thing that's worth consideration, if you guys, if your goal is to, storm the correct SportRiot building, because remember, there's not one SportRiot building. SportRiot owns an entire planet. Yeah, so you need to land at the right place on the SportRiot planet. Rather than shooting blindly or doing all of your own investigation, there's another organization that has already done some of this legwork, so you might get in touch with them and, do a knowledge share.
Right, the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, I guess, more of a direct action route. Roy prefers the subterfuge route that Morgan proposed, which is just acting as though he is an employee that's coming back to the company, using that to infiltrate facilities on their planet.
Well, we could join forces with the resistance, and I can just pretend that you're my crew. Like, all celebrities have a crew of cronies.
Yeah, this is
You
ju-
could
I
be
mean,
a posse.
we could-
Simply a word of warning,
Two birds, one
comrades.
stone.
Taking out a king, or kidnapping a king, even on a backwater planet such as this owned by a corporation, will make us probably the galaxy's most wanted.
I mean, that's not
Mercenary
new
crew.
for us.
Good.
So-
Yeah,
Well,
we're
I'll win
already
that bet on the
most
ship.
wanted.
Do you
Alright.
think
Some
Roy
of
would
you
be
all,
against
you all
that?
may have the time to spend in prison after we are caught, but I do not.
You
But-
just don't
but
have
wait,
the time
wait,
to go to
wait.
jail?
Do you guys know how cool we'll seem back on the Gemini if we're the galaxy's most wanted?
You also, I mean, if the fear is being found and put on a wanted list, I mean, there are ways around that. You can look into disguises and stuff. So, for my money, it sounds like the next step is moving against SportRiot. And before you guys can make any movement, you need to collect any necessary information, do any necessary scouting, and then come up with a plan and then execute the plan. So how do you guys want to go forward? Do you want to right now I don't think you can formulate a plan to air quotes storm SportRiot, because what you actually want to do is you want to find where on the planet are they holding this one individual and get him, or you're trying to overthrow their entire organization. Either way, you need some information, some maps, some names and locations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who was that contact that we had for SportRiot here?
Okay. So you know that Jenny and a few others meet in this tavern to go over plans to resist SportRiot. Mr. Halesworth is the SportRiot representative on planet.
We're still at the tavern, right?
Yeah.
I want Aveline to just very loudly say something very praiseworthy about SportRiot, and I want to see if I get any dirty looks for it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that is.
That Kazap is the bee's knees.
Yeah.
Item number 9.
Ruda's too
Okay.
drunk to sense the sarcasm, and he gives you a side eye.
Yeah, you definitely see the bartender giving you a glare. Let me see, did I come up with anyone else? Oh my god. Fuck, hold on. I have to introduce a new character. Okay. Wilhelm is the name. Yeah, there it is. God, I don't feel good about this.
I can't hear the word Wilhelm without thinking of penis. It just something
What?
about it. I think it was an Archer joke. Yeah. It's a joke from Archer.
Yeah, okay, so this dude that I just put down on the map, you'll notice that he has just an unusually large head. That's in character.
Oh,
I
oh
don't know
no.
why.
His name becomes even funnier.
Yeah, Wilhelm, I think Wilhelm walks up to you, and this is the weediest, wimpiest looking person you've ever seen in your life, Aveline. He does walk up to you. He puts his hands on his hips and he says, "Would you like to say that again?" Except he says in a certain accent.
That depends. What am I gonna do? What are you gonna do if I say it again?
This is a blonde Robin Lord
I
Taylor.
might. Hold on. Is it possible to do this accent and Minnesota at the same time?
Reach real deep. Come on.
I might just challenge you to fisticuffs.
Oh, Jesus.
All right,
Pretty
Evan, you're
good.
gonna push yourself away from the table, and she's already halfway outside.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, he goes outside with you.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Ruda's running after
Somebody
them.
turn on the DMX.
Okay.
Ruda
I'm
just
going
starts like
to-
screaming, "Get him, Aveline! Get him! Kick his
Okay.
ass!"
I'm gonna give it to you. Gonna give it to you.
Now. We are in his home territory. This is very obviously somewhere where he comes from. I will be the bigger person and give him the first hit.
Okay. So Aveline, I want you to roll a melee. We will acknowledge that that you are you're going to give him the first hit and then presumably counter hit. I will roll melee, you roll melee, and we'll take the difference to see what the result looks like.
Ooh.
He rolled a 9, which is remarkably good for him. You can tell this man is worked into a frenzy, and he wants blood, and
He's throwing all 50 pounds of himself at
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
He's gonna get blood.
Yeah, what I think happens is he runs up and he is screaming and double arm wailing on you, but it's that kind of wailing where he's kind of like windmilling his arms.
Wow.
And
Ruda's
you
just
can
like
barely
holding his
out of
hand
the way.
out. He's holding his hand out to his forehead, and he's just like commonly, just like blowing on his nails with his other two hands. It's like, bro, this is all you got?
Your moves are
Hey,
weak.
Aveline, what do you... Yes, okay, the picture that Mike just posted is exactly what you were talking about. Yeah, Aveline, what do you do?
I think Aveline probably like goes along with it. Like she just kind of like lets him wail on her for a couple of seconds, where she's kind of sitting there looking around at the group, like, "Wait, is this really it? Did he challenge me to a fight to do this?" And then she'll just go like grab his one arm and like basically pull it around behind him and like shove him down to the ground, so he's like pinned.
Okay, and at this point, you see Dobb Jr. has walked outside, and he gently puts a hand on your shoulder and says, Now, young lady, I would appreciate if you let up my friend there. I know he can be a little bit boisterous sometimes, but he just gets worked into a frenzy about that there SportRiot.
That's wonderful, because I was looking for people that don't like SportRiot. It's a shame he chose not to talk to us first.
He did this to himself.
He did.
Now that we've broken the arm of a resistance fighter.
You could have gotten out of this with a bruised ego, without a bruised ego, my friend, but unfortunately.
Okay, yeah, I think he squints at you for a second, and then he says, "That's so." And then I think he shouts back into the bar like, "Jerry, watch the bar for me for a minute." And then he gestures for you to follow him.
Oh yeah. I'm following.
Okay. He walks into a back room, and are you going to tell the other party members?
I'll just tell them, like, I think I've got a hit. They should follow me.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I think what happens is this guy is getting ready to do a big reveal, and he's getting ready for something very dramatic, but then he is standing behind the table there, and he says, actually, I will need you to wait for a minute, please. And you see him pull out his phone and start calling a few people, and he has some whispered phone conversations, and then he says, can you wait like 5 minutes? We've got some chessboards. I can offer you complimentary peanuts.
Can I get a pangalactic gargle blaster?
This will be your 9th one.
Yeah, I'm sober, bro. Ruda's obviously not sober, but he's so drunk that he thinks he's sober.
So be it. Yeah, he goes behind the bar. He's gonna bring you guys back some peanuts and a pangalactic gargle blaster. And yeah, the two of them very awkwardly try to make like small talk and chit chat with you. But it's okay. I want you to picture this scene. They are not wearing robes, but they're kind of spiritually standing there wearing robes, sitting around like an altar, and then just like watching their watch. And they don't want to really start anything or give anything away, so they're kind of just killing time. It's very awkward, incredibly awkward energy in this room.
So, I followed you guys on the assumption that I was going to be getting some information out of this. So can we cut to the chase?
Oh, no, you will. We're just waiting for a couple more community members.
Ruda just goes into this like long rant. I remember when SportRiot put that fucking dog on the surfboard. I love that dog. He died. And SportRiot didn't do a goddamn thing about it.
Wow.
Long live
Okay.
Rippy the dog.
Okay, I'm gonna
He's so
drop
drunk
in
right
2 more people. What did I call these guys? I called them. Okay. Yeah. So, in a few minutes, you get So Jenny arrives and she is hauling behind her Sir Pater. You get the impression that Sir Pater has never been here before and he's asking what this is all about. So a few people arrive and I think that Dobb Jr. is going to start this off and say something along the lines of, so we have some new guests who have been asking about our organization, and I would like to offer some introductions. By the way, this person here is telecommuting in via hologram. She is not there in person.
Oh, too good to actually show up, huh?
Yeah. You'll notice that every member of the organization who has shown up has some kind of bright red sash or belt or collar or some article of their clothing that is bright red. And old Dobb Jr. Dobb Jr. spreads his arms and he says, "Welcome, friends, to the Red Cap Society."
Do they all have red caps?
No, we found that was actually a little too suspicious, so we've just wearing red articles of clothing. But in
So you guys are the red ascots. Sorry.
Yes, some of us, and Jenny there is the red ribbon, and
But do you have like red hats just for like ceremonial purposes?
oh yeah, certainly they're back here, and he opens it. Yeah, and starts handing out red caps to everyone.
Bro, give me a red hat.
Yeah, Ruda, it doesn't quite fit on you because of your horns.
Ruda puts it on one of his horns.
Yep. Okay, so this is the Red Cap Society. And I think they all make their introductions. We've got Ol Dobb, we've got Wilhelm, we've got Jenny, and Jenny's boyfriend, Sir Peter, who is very confused but excited to speak to this organization that he's never heard of before. And then I need to find... We have one other person here. I'm not looking for... Samantha comes up later. Mendenshire. Ruda. Okay, I need somebody to give me a name.
For whom?
A woman's name. It doesn't have to have anything particularly interesting about it.
Arabella.
What?
Arabella.
All right, I like that. Okay, so Arabella is the woman who is telecommuting in. Wilhelm. So, Dobb Jr. runs the tavern. Wilhelm is one of the court librarians. Jenny is the daughter of the Mr. Hillsworth. Arabella is actually part of the SportRiot police force that has been working with them in secret. And this last guy is gonna be named Doug. Doug's he's just
Doug.
He's just
an intern.
He's just very passionate about his work.
Is he like Doug the Dominator when he puts on the red cap?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they've never allowed him to be Doug the Dominator yet, but one of these days they're going to storm a SportRiot facility, and he is going to dominate as Doug the Dominator. Okay, so you guys, can we say that you guys exchange information? You guys tell them what you know, and then they tell you what they know?
Yes.
Okay. So you are looking for a place on planet SportRiot where they would be doing clandestine secret research, right? Some kind of secret research facility.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Arabella has heard rumors of something like that. It is nobody's supposed to know of its location, but there are some members of the underground that she thinks could point her in the right way if she found them and asked them politely. So Arabella can get on track with finding that facility for you. Next thing I wanted to ask, so you guys want to okay, is there any business on planet that you want to take care of before you go over to planet SportRiot?
What's our plan?
Well, you know that Arabella is going to find you the location. And then, Yeah, you should probably have a plan from there. You'll need a way in, a way past security, and a way to get like. You'll probably need a floor plan in order to find the person you're looking for.
I have some questions. Obviously they'll be able to give us more information about what we're looking for. I would like to know more about what they specifically have been digging their hands into. What kind of access does this group have to SportRiot already?
Well, Jenny is able to Jenny has long since figured out her dad's access password because he leaves it on a sticky note that he leaves in his shoes.
Oh, that's fantastic. God
Yeah.
bless adults.
Yeah, God bless adults. So she is able to get into their network. Arabella has an inside peek into the SportRiot police force, which could be very helpful in a lot of ways, and has a lot of underground contacts. And then the other members are mostly just they have been trying to work more on planet Bucchinia to try to prevent SportRiot influence, which means that their top priority has been figuring out how to deal with King Ire. And once you guys inform them about the body snatching situation going on, they are able to tell pretty clearly that that's how they're going to need to take care of it. This actually, so I was looking for a way to use the Beggar's Feast because we have intentionally or otherwise set it up as a very significant thing in this chapter. So, how about we say that some of these members can go with you to Planet SportRiot as you are coordinating the assault, and the rest of them will stay behind and host the new Beggar's Feast, and then use the Beggar's Feast to do a people's revolution of sorts and try to oust the King Ire body double.
Oh my god.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's aces. Yeah, that's very good.
Okay. Now, the last thing I can think of is that you guys are going to need well, it's a matter of scope. Do you want to stop with just finding out how they're controlling King Ire, turning that off, and then exposing them for what they're doing, or do you want to try to overthrow their entire like planetary government?
Oh, we're overthrowing that.
Roy has
Okay.
no interest in overthrowing it.
Interesting.
Really?
He does not understand what the purpose is because this is not his goal.
What's his goal again?
His goal is to figure out what relation SportRiot has to Red Corp, and what he is,
Mm-hmm.
and how much time he really has left.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, he views this as a expenditure of time and energy that he cannot personally afford, and just sees it like he doesn't see a revolution among biologicals any different than Xenocians attacking the Elven planet.
Oh.
Ruda's
Okay.
going.
It's
going
all the same
out.
to him.
Ruda's going all out. John Wick. It's personal.
Okay, so Ruda wants to go full revolution.
I think Roy stands to gain more than he thinks he does, because if we do completely overthrow the SportRiot government, it's probably going to get Red Corp's attention if they are connected in the way that we think they are.
So, this is interesting. I think this would lend itself really well to splitting the party. And what I'm thinking is, we have lots of NPCs in the equation right now, most of them functional full characters. So I'm thinking about 3 different
Well, before you go into it, my reservations aren't because I want to split the party and like pursue different things. I think that it would be good for storytelling for us to be able to pursue certain goals that not everybody agrees with. Because Roy is, like I said, that's the whole reason why I brought up Roy not seeing this any different than what happened on that elven planet with the Xenocians. It's just biologicals replacing one another in the hierarchy of their world. So like Roy will go along with what the larger group is doing because he thinks that will get him a little bit closer to his goal, even if it's not exactly what it is. But be warned, if there is a point when we're actually doing something where Roy will benefit more from not going along with what the party does, that's gonna happen. So like, if you're in like, let's say you're in a locked airlock and you're like, Roy, help me get out so I can, so we can get out of this facility and so we can rescue blah, 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 or so we can help overturn blah, blah, blah. But there's a lab down the hall that's got some information that Roy wants. Guess what's going to happen?
Yeah. Okay. So there's 2 directions we can go with this, and this is an out of the universe, just a question to the players. One, we just have you guys do the SportRiot secret facility breach, whatever, and then have the other things, the planetary revolution and the revolution on Bucchinia, just happen simultaneously in the background, or we do something kind of similar to what we did when Wex left the party, when we had the pirate party that was traveling with Wex, and we have 3 groups. One group is breaking into the SportRiot secret facility. One group is leading a revolution to try to oust the SportRiot government, and one group is participating in the Beggar's Feast and the revolution on Bucchinia. And in each of those cases, we'll have enough air quotes NPCs traveling with the party that each of the players will get one of those characters to control. So you guys are not you guys aren't just being abandoned for the parts of the game that your characters aren't in. Instead, you guys would just get different characters that you control for those sort of guest characters.
Nice.
Those both have strengths and weaknesses. The benefit of the just doing one single point of view and keeping the party together is that it'll be a lot less janky and complicated, a lot less narratively cluttered. But I think the other one has a lot of strengths in terms of what you can do with it. So, what are we thinking?
I'm for keeping the party together.
Okay.
Like maybe a small, like we could participate in the Beggar's Feast and the riot that turns into an insurrection, that turns into a revolution. Maybe we can like take part in that like briefly, but I don't want us to split up because what I was just saying about like Roy not being fully in agreement with what the party wants to do. I think that if we split up the party, then it would lead to Roy's like gravitating away from party dynamics, and I don't want to do that too much.
All right.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'll also second the idea of us staying together. I'm more interested in the idea around what happens on this planet and what takes place at the Beggar's Feast from a narrative perspective, almost like we're a third party watching what happens. So like, hey, we came in, we're the shepherd, we did our mission on the planet, and the stuff that happens after the fact, we set it in motion, but we don't do the rest of it. And I think that there's something to be said for just watching it play out.
Yeah, like in most revolutions, there's always groups of partisans that come from foreign areas, and they'll have like a role to play during like initial insurrection or whatever, but they're not the people who the story of the revolution is really following. Like they're just there to play and assist and then fade back into the background. And I think that's what we should be. Like we should like, a revolution doesn't take place in one night. Revolution takes place over a stretch of time. Like maybe the initial riot at the Beggar's Feast we could take part of, but I would like to do a thing where we see like news feed updates, or like we get information through some third-hand source about what's going on in Bucchinia, and we see the consequences of our decisions there.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Your whole party goes to the secret facility, and you stick together and you try to accomplish the goal in the secret facility. Nox and his crew will work with Arabella and try to dig up some underground movements and discontent civilians and make a SportRiot revolutionary movement. And then Sir Pater and all the rest of the Red Caps will work together to do the event at the Beggar's Feast. And you guys will do all of these things simultaneously, because if say you guys did the thing in the secret facility and you broke their control over King Ire, and then didn't do something about his government simultaneously, then you don't know what SportRiot would do that might, just build it back up. And likewise, while you guys are in the facility, if you don't have anything, any other distraction going on, as soon as you guys set off any kind of alarm, you don't just have the security from that building coming after you, you have an entire planetary government coming after you. Whereas Nox's revolution will essentially take the planetary government out of the equation and let you guys focus on just the secret facility. How does this sound to everyone?
I like it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that fits in line. I do have one question. As the player to the DM.
Sure.
What do they ultimately want from us, like Wilhelm and the Red Caps? Like, what is their like?
They want control of their planet back and independence from SportRiot. And if you guys can break SportRiot's control over King Ire, and ideally find the original King Ire and try to get him back to them. We don't know if he's alive or not. That is their end goal.
Okay. All right. I'm very into the idea of taking our chances on the planet and working through. So are we still under the guise of like we need to find access codes and have our plot to get in, or are we going with the whole Ruda is a super individual and we're just going to follow behind him?
Well, I think that how about we move forward until you guys are like outside of the facility, and then we'll do a real quick retroactive kind of like flashback. You know what it shit, this is what we're doing. Okay. Ocean's 11 storytelling.
Oh my god.
As you guys
son of
go
a bitch, I'm in.
Okay.
As you guys go through the infiltration, we will reveal the prep leading up to the infiltration.
Good God,
Yeah, this will be
Oh my
very good.
god.
Okay,
This
we'll
is a
start-
direct play out from Rick and Morty
Our
season 4.
next game will start in media res with you guys in the facility, and then we'll do flashbacks to see what led up to it.
holy shit!
We need to
Bryce.
call this episode "You Son of a Bitch, I'm In."
Yep.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Okay. Now I have one more thing. I don't have stuff ready for Planet SportRiot yet. I didn't know which direction you guys were going to go with it. So I will get a facility map for them ready before our next game. I have one more big thing that I want to get done today, and then next game we will start in Planet SportRiot. So now that you guys have all figured out what needs to happen next, I think that Anwar is going to suggest that you guys should head back to the Gemini and refuel, stock up on ammo, regroup, do some planning for the infiltration, and stuff like that. And then Knox and his crew will go back to their ship and get things ready and stuff like that. So, are you guys good with going back to the Gemini for a real quick Gemini break before moving forward?
Show.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm down.
All right. I'm moving you guys over to the Gemini. I don't know if I left any messes here that I need to clean up. Okay, it looks like... Oh, there's the party. Okay, so I'm going to... send this to the GM layer, and I'm looking for... Yeah, I think this one. Yeah.
That was a whale, Lindsay.
That was a whale, Lindsay.
Look, we're back on the Gemini, okay? It's space whale time.
Yes, space whale.
Space whales.
Okay, so, as you guys, Okay, yeah, here's how I'm gonna do this. Send this to the map layer. Oh, it's too far in the back. Let's go to back. There we go. So we're gonna do a little scene in the hangar as you guys are parking. Let me. This is you and you and you and you three, but not you two. Okay. So as you guys land, I think that as you guys are landing, what's her name? This character, Otema. I think Otema sees the signal that your ship is returning to the Gemini, and she gives you a call real fast. And she would give the call to Aveline probably. No. What she's gonna do is she's gonna meet you when you land. So you guys land the Galanga. You disembark, and Otema is waiting for you in the hangar, and she's waiting with Liko. Otema looks kind of nervous, and Liko, she doesn't have her big Gatling gun with her, but she does have a pistol that she doesn't usually wear set up, and she also is looking around kind of nervously. And Otema is going to try to get your attention as soon as you come down. Does anybody have an immediate response?
Ruda looks at Liko and is like, "Bro, why you look so nervous? What's going on?"
Don't call me bro. I'm a girl.
Bro.
Yeah, it's probably better if she explains it. And I think Otema is going to walk up to you guys real close, and she says, "Hey, I don't want to make you guys nervous, but there's a reporter here that wants to interview you guys. What do you want us to do? Listen, it would complicate things if we had to, like, dispose of a reporter's body. Do you guys want to meet with her? What are we gonna do here?"
What are they asking about?
Yeah, so I think that the reporter says that she heard from one of her Alfheim sources about you guys. She heard from one of her Alfheim sources about the big brave thing that you guys did in rescuing the heart of the Fatima Rue.
Can I, while she's saying that, I'm just gonna nudge Ruda in the side, and I'm gonna whisper to Ruda, "Go get him, Tiger."
Ruda rolls his eyes.
So this, so there's a reporter. She has been staying in one of the guest rooms close to Otema's quarters until you guys got back from your current mission. So she would like to speak to you. Her name is Samantha. What are you guys gonna do about this?
Ruda turns to him and is like, "Amil, do you want me to seduce her?"
Fuck.
Amil looks confused, and I was like, "No, just go brag a lot and get them to go away. I mean, if you want."
Are you sure you don't want me to seduce her? Because I could seduce her, like, in a second.
Amil just like realizes the terrible mistake in communication that he's made.
Lindsay.
I'm like, yes, Ruda, please mate with her.
Bro, you just said, "Go get him, Tiger." On Earth, I learned that tigers seduce. So how am I supposed to take that?
Tigers seduce? What?
That's what Earth tigers do.
I look around and I'm like, Ruda, if that's how, okay, go get him, Tiger.
Okay.
I think that was less Amul fucking up, and I think that was more just Kevin fucking up.
I also a little bit of Ruda fucking up.
That's true.
Yeah. I think it was a bit of all three. Okay. So Otema is actually, she's going to wince a little, and she's going to say, actually, she has she's requested to interview all of you. She said it's actually kind of important, and
individually?
No, just all of you together.
Okay.
She wants to do a group interview. How do you guys feel about that?
Uneasy.
Yeah, mate's a little off-put by the idea of being put
On
under
the
any kind of
record.
spotlight. That doesn't work for them.
How
Mate's
did
gonna
she
start
find us
leaving
in
the
Gemini?
hangar.
That's a good question. Maybe that's something you should ask her.
Oh boy.
Well, you guys either have to go do the interview or find a way to get her to go away.
Well, I guess Ruda should go do his tiger thing then.
Before
Delicate
that,
and light
before
in
that.
all its spotted glory. Thy name is
Where is
Tiger.
she right now?
So I think that when you guys were coming in for a landing, Otema asked her to wait in one of the like relaxation rooms. What are they called? The fun rooms.
Saunas?
Gross.
No, they're rec rooms. Is that it?
Get wrecked.
I'm gonna say the rec room, the kind of place that they have like billiard balls and chairs and
Nothing
couches.
else. Just billiard balls and chairs.
In the lounge.
It's lounge. Lounge is the word that was
The rumpus room.
real bad. Okay.
So she's in the lounge right now.
The
Yeah.
rumpus room.
Okay, Aveline's body's just gonna hit the floor. I just want to go check out the lounge. In dog.
Oh my god.
Bryn's
No
like,
alert
the
whatsoever.
adult fun time rooms.
Okay.
Like, this is bad.
Okay, so I'll set this up here instead then. So I'm moving this to the map layer.
The casting couch.
Oh my god.
Well, now this has an AO rating.
Oh god.
Okay.
Flag not for
Sorry.
children on this one.
Sorry.
Okay. Aveline, let me go ahead and copy paste and we'll make this one blue. There you go. Aveline, so you see I think there's the regular stuff that you see on like the third floor rec room. There's some kids playing video games around the hollow TV and stuff like that. And then you see a reporter. She is human. She is definitely augmented. She has the she actually kind of leans into it. She has shaved the back of her head and has like a metal plate in the back of her head. And is otherwise dressed in just very, good, nice professional clothes. She's got a white button up, and she looks like she could either be a reporter or a secretary. And she is tapping away on her tablet.
What's on her tablet? Can I see her tablet?
So I forgot you're in the warp, which means that you don't actually have full visibility.
I thought so.
So you cannot see what's on her tablet, and you also don't get any of those physical details that I gave you about her. You just get the idea that there's a person here. She doesn't have any kind of demonic influence. I think you can tell that she is she's not sleeved, but she is augmented in the same way that you can always recognize augmented people in the warp, because they have just kind of like a weird sheen to their warp shadow.
Yeah.
So?
I can't use anything while I'm in the warp, can I?
I mean, you are an astropath. You are not an empath, which means you can't influence her mind or anything like that. No, I mean you could teleport into the room behind her and spook her.
Yeah, I think I'll just do that. I'll go back to my body and then I'll just warp in behind her.
Okay.
I'll tell the group about what I'm doing beforehand, so they know what's happening.
Is the rest of the group going to know to like go to the room and join you, or are you just gonna spook her and then leave?
I think when Aveline returns to her body, she wakes up like, meh, she looks pretty normal to me. I guess we can go talk to her. And then she's going to warp into the room to scare her. And then she's going to act like she just, like after scaring her, she's just going to chill until the group arrives because she doesn't want to be like, she doesn't want to be cornered alone. Like, oh, let's just talk before they get here. No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That happens. So Aveline poofs out of existence, and then Samantha is just typing away at her tablet. And Aveline, is it fair to say that you teleport directly onto the couch beside her?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Are we talking you guys have good full like elbow room between you, or are you like your legs are touching?
No, they're touching. I'm trying to make her uncomfortable.
Okay, great. Yeah, so she definitely lets out a little scream when this happens. And you have completely put her off balance, and you see she is yeah, I think that she recovers before too long and recognizes that this is a like a tactic that you're using to kind of be the alpha dog in the situation. She is pretty meek, so she's she looks pretty frazzled. Now, first of all, what do you guys think of this this lounge picture that I made?
Oh, it's super
cool.
fancy. I love it.
Yeah, I have
It's
a
the
bunch
Gemini
of
feel.
filters going on here, and I think the filters are pretty cool.
It looks like Archer's apartment, kind of.
Okay. So, yeah, I think that Aveline, can I say I think that you try to maintain this as a like you're keeping her off balance and stuff, but she's a genuinely very like sweet and charismatic person, and I think that in no time flat, Aveline is just like before the party gets there, Aveline, you're like buds with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very on brand.
Yeah, it felt on brand. And she's a sweetheart. She's very very easy to talk to and stuff. So the party arrives, and Samantha is going to hop down from the couch and give you guys a wave, and she says, hello, I was just speaking to Aveline here. Are you guys the Cell? Which you guys will remember is the name of your gang?
Yeah.
Your crew?
Who wants to know?
The cell.
My name is Samantha. I am a journalist for the 43rd Imperial Gazette. And I was hoping to write a piece on you guys about your experience on the Fatima Rue a while back. I'd heard about it from one of my contacts. And I also have another proposal afterwards, if you would be interested. Do you have any questions for me to begin?
Wait, who's in this room?
It's you guys and Samantha and some kids playing video games.
Ruda feels a little weird hitting on her because of the kids playing video games.
Yeah.
Let's skip
Also,
past the part where
it
we
seems
expose
like
ourselves.
Aveline has you beat in the hitting on her category too.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. That's very true.
I didn't hit on her. I didn't hit on her.
What was I gonna say?
It was just asserting dominance.
One thing that that she wants to make clear up front is unless you guys request otherwise, all names will be altered before she reports anything. So she would want to report the story, but not include any of your names or any identifying information about the Galanga or anything like that.
So, bit of a retcon. We learned of that because right when she started talking about writing an article, Roy kind of got real close, like uncomfortably close, and was like, "Who do you report to? Where do you send information?" So yeah, that's how we learned that she won't put our names in.
Yep. She won't put your names in, and she works for the 43rd Imperial Gazette.
So she's not going to put our names. I'm a little confused because I had thought that was something that was like sizable enough that there's probably already a large group of people in the appropriate circles that already know who was responsible for that. Is that not the case?
It is not yet. Nobody has published any articles about it. Now, if there are maybe some intelligence agencies for some of the great galactic factions that have heard about it, that might be the case, but she has not. Nobody has written any articles about it yet.
Okay.
Or at least no articles that are published on a galactic scale.
I'm willing to go with group's choice on this one. The act of talking to a reporter kind of sketches Aveline out.
As it does with Roy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quid pro quo. You give us something, we give you something.
Okay.
Is she willing to tell us more about the proposal that she mentioned more before we talk?
Right. Well, this might be a moot point if you guys are uncomfortable with me writing an article about you, but if you would be up to it, I asked around with a couple people on the Gemini, and I heard about some of the other missions you've taken on recently, and these sound pretty wild. It sounds like you guys tend to attract very interesting stories, and if you guys
heard about.
Sidebar, I keep thinking about the Mass Effect scene where that reporter comes up to Shepard, and I was like, "Don't punch her in the face! Don't punch her in the face!"
I mean, Renegade interrupts somebody getting punched in the face.
So, she, with your permission, she would like to be your personal field journalist and travel alongside you, write stories about the adventures that you get into. Obviously, with all the names changed. If you agreed to that, then she would give you. I think she would give you 50% of her cut for those stories, split amongst your group. And you guys would have total journalistic control over. You guys would be able to read and edit the articles before she published them. So that would both allow you to control whether she, says anything that you don't want her to, you would be able to prevent her from giving away any confidential information, but also it would give you an opportunity to control your PR on a galactic scale. You could begin to, collect fame and make a bigger name for yourself. This might open up new job possibilities in the future. Maybe even if you guys got successful enough through this, you could, if you want to separate away from the Gemini and get your own ship. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but
you have to know this is dangerous. Why would you risk your own life to come with us?
Well, honestly, it's because all of the great journalists are doing this.
It's because Aveline's leg touched you, isn't it?
I mean,
how the
Can't blame
tables
her.
are turned.
I don't know what you're talking about. But
Like, cool. Neither do I. Go on. Continue.
all of the great galactic journalists are field journalists that shadow particular individuals. A lot of the great war heroes for each of the factions have their own dedicated journalists who follow them around and write stories about their battles and stuff. But there's a distinct. There are very few field journalists who are working with these kind of underground or discrete organizations, and I think that the room there for publishing stories that would just be gobbled up by the people around the galaxy is it's so good. People around the galaxy want to hear stories like this. I mean, you guys are the gentleman bandits of the 28th century.
I have no interest in this.
Mate
Roy
could
just
not help
walks
but
away.
snicker. That's great.
So, you said that you talked to some people around the Gemini and you heard some more about our other missions and you talked about some of the dangers we've gotten ourselves into. What have you heard from people around the Gemini?
Yeah, she tells you about the job that you guys did with the first mission, the progenitors and the retrieving the doctor for the college.
Shit where mate went all Black Mirror on us.
And then
I mean, hey.
I think that we're assuming that your group, at least the members of your group who aren't brand new, have gone on some missions beforehand that are pretty cool, even if they're not broadly talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So she mentions some of those.
So there's already like enough built up fame for the group on the Gemini as it is now.
On the
where it's like-
Gemini.
yeah. Yeah.
Did this one have to get through security to get here? Just...
I'd like to
feel
know what made
better?
Otema so uncomfortable with
Yeah.
her being here.
Well, I mean, I think Otema was nervous for the same reason that you guys were nervous when you heard about a reporter here. I think that Otema knows that that people generally that most people on this ship don't want to have a public image, even if it is an anonymous public image. But as to the other question, did she have to go through security to get on board? I think when you ask that, she looks a little uncomfortable and then kind of looks the other way and she says, well, a journalist who only goes the places that they're supposed to go isn't a very good journalist, so it's possible that I may have found my way here without raising too many eyebrows.
Oh, cool. I'm important to security. I'm grabbing Jonah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So is that a no on the story?
It's not a no.
I think that what would make sense would be. This is kind of hard if you've never. See, what I'm thinking of is when Lucy Lawless first appeared on Battlestar Galactica, she kind of came at the Galactica with the same story. Now, ultimately, she ended up being like, somebody who's working with the bad guys, was one of the bad guys. But like, there was a lot of reservation against having her on the ship. And then even when she was allowed on the ship, like the scenes that she was allowed to like report on and the stuff that she was allowed to look into was just very limited. Like, she basically had a very small set of corridors she could go through and had to get to other places through her own sets of guile or whatever. I would like it if that was how she was treated. Like, we all just kind of give her the cold shoulder, but she kind of sticks around anyway because we don't just straight up tell her to get the fuck out.
And because she's
I'm
crafty.
fine with it going up to a certain point.
What'd you say?
Okay.
It's my problem is like, and I'm willing to share this with the group, albeit quietly while she's sitting there. Like, my biggest problem with this is the timing. Like, obviously, I understand why the concept of a reporter makes just people on the ship generally nervous. But considering what we're about to get into on Bucchinia, like, I can't help but feel like this woman is working for SportRiot in some capacity.
Yeah, or the fucking Charles, whatever his face is,
Oh, Menden.
Ooh.
Mendenshire.
Even worse.
Ooh.
Even worse.
Roy pulls out his gun.
And like that, coupled with the fact that when I mentioned security, she started to get all uncomfortable and basically insinuated that she snuck on the Gemini somehow. It's not sitting right with me, y'all. Like,
Roy
I'm
agrees.
fine with I'm fine with going along with it for a narrative standpoint because it will make things interesting, but I am scared. That's all I'll say on it. I'm sus.
I think considering she bypassed security, we should take her to my chambers. Allow me to interrogate her.
Man, everyone wants to woo her.
I'm an expert interrogator.
Wow.
I have no interest in this wooing that you biological speak of.
Is this Rory's tiger style?
Sure.
Okay. Real quick before we continue with this, I
don't
Man.
think that we need to go through all the dialogue of back and forth of the interrogation or whatever, but I think that there should be some sort of interrogation that, you know how Roy does. Gets right up to that line of torture but doesn't cross it.
No, I get that we should like press her a little bit more considering like what the circumstances are, but I think it's kind of a bummer that we're immediately like, hey, guess what? You're the villain. We're just gonna like string her up and hook her up to electrodes.
I mean, she admitted that she did something dodgy. That's on her.
We do dodgy stuff every day.
But we don't do dodgy stuff. We don't do dodgy stuff to ourselves. We do dodgy stuff to other people. And if all those other people caught us, we would expect them to have this kind of response.
Okay. I'm just putting this out here. Nate is doing this under protest. Nate is actually really into the idea of having a journalist in our back pocket,
Nice.
but for personal reasons.
Interesting.
I think that Amil is a little more hesitant than Mate, but in the same camp of like, once we security clear her, and I'm gonna bring up the idea that like she can stay, but she can only use devices that we provide her. She forfeits all ability to. She writes on laptops we give her. She communicates with communicators we give her.
Oh yeah, and one of my first things is going to be a check for augments.
Yeah, I know, right? Like we've got to have. She can, almost like she can do what she wants to do, but only with the assurance that we can trace it, right?
Okay, so we put her through the ringer. She uses our intranet. She promises to give us like first right of refusal, and we're cool.
That's what I think. I don't want to speak for the group though.
The other option is if you guys want to ask her some questions to kind of prove that she is who she thinks she is, or who she claims that she is. That's something that probably a lot of journalists expect to deal with. So maybe you could just like tell her that you need proof of her identity, and you're going to need to, ask her some questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll put it in a way that doesn't sound like, hey, we're going to interrogate and torture you. So we say, we require identification, and we have an onboarding interview that we'd like you to attend.
Okay. Do you guys want to get one of the empaths on the ship to help with this, to kind of scan her and make sure that she's telling the truth?
I mean,
Yeah,
we
Roy do
can,
that?
but Roy's also an expert interrogator. Yeah, that's my whole
Yeah.
thing. That's why I was just like, I got this.
You're right. I think that's
Yeah,
okay.
I feel like we should keep this
So-
in house.
No, I think that's a good idea. Okay, so okay, this is great. Roy, get your software check ready.
Okay.
We're going to
Yeah.
do
Using my disc drone interrogation suite.
you guys ask her a question. She will give you her response, and then Roy will roll to see if she's lying. Ask a question.
When did you first hear of the cell?
Ooh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so she says that she first heard of you guys I mean a few weeks ago, shortly after your event on the Fatima Rue. Roll software. She seems to be telling the truth.
Okay. What was her name?
Samantha.
What was her answer, real quick, just to the question of when she first heard of the cell?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, after you guys did the Fatima Rue mission.
Does anybody have another question, or
Yeah, mate's gonna go. So, who's sponsoring your endeavors right now?
Well, she's currently a journalist working for the 43rd Imperial Gazette, but if she gets big enough, she would like to go go solo and start self-publishing her own stories. That is absolutely the truth. Hold on. Yes, that's the truth.
interesting?
That
If
was
you're
very-
wanting to report us up front for someone who is trying to stop us or arrest us
Straight to the point,
or
Ruda.
take us down,
What was your question, Ruda?
is her wanting to report us a front for the someone who she worked for, like trying to take us down as criminals, universal criminals.
Absolutely not. That is not my intent. I want to write stories about you, and that's it. And Roy, roll. So that is a 3 + 3 + 4. Do you want to even optional, but do you want to spend a fate point to get that even higher?
Sure.
Okay.
Do
So
I need to roll again, or
nope.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you -1 fate point, and we're going to call that a 12, which is a resounding success. She is telling the absolute truth. She has no intention of getting you guys in trouble.
How did you get through security?
Yeah, so I think that she looks at hold on. I want to see if I wrote down how she does this because I have an idea for it.
Okay.
Did I add her in here? Okay, I didn't. Yeah, so I think that okay, yeah, I've got it. Well, I think that she looks kind of embarrassed about this. But she kind of scrunches up her face, and then you see her face kind of ripples as if it was made up of a bunch of different plates, and
Whoa.
they settle back into place, and she has the face of one of the other crew members on the Gemini.
Whoa.
And then
She's augmented. Roy scoffs in disgust. But I don't think there's any need to do a software check here because we can see.
Yeah. She's I think she's going to explain that she's a journalist and she has a number. She was not blessed with any talent in any of the psychic arts, so she has augmented herself in a lot of ways that are pretty standard for most undercover journalists. She has augmented hearing, and she can alter her face to get into different areas. She also has some untraditional senses. She can see in different spectrums, and if she was on the field with you, then perhaps some of these things could be of assistance.
Interesting. This answers the next question that I was about to have, but leads
Hey
to
y'all,
another.
2 seconds. I just want to restart Craig. It looks like it bowed out.
Okay.
My God, I was just about to ask about that. Bum, bum, ba, da, ba, ba, da, ba, ba, da, 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 da.
Like, damn, Craig, got to get our interrogation here. This next one will be fun.
Smells like candle. I hope it smells like candle. It smells like peppermint candle. Is Craig still misbehaving?
Yeah, it's still acting funky.
Oh, shit.
Give it a couple more seconds, and then I'm gonna try to have it join again.
Is this from the show that you're watching? It's not. It looks like it.
Oh, shit, it's Trisha Helfer. Sorry, I'm like watching a episode of Creep Show on Shudder, and Trisha Helfer, as in Caprica from Battlestar Galactica.
How is that new show, by the way?
Shudder or Creep Show?
Creep Show.
It's hit or miss. It's like an anthology type series. So some of it's like, this is dumb, but other ones are pretty good.
Does it hold up to like the original graphic novel in the movie?
Oh, it's way better.
Really?
Than the original stuff. Yeah. I mean, the original stuff was really, it was really low quality and campy and like very poorly written. It's just like, it was just the best of the bad horror stuff from back in the day.
Yeah. It was like an homage to the campy horror.
Yeah. This, while being an homage to the campy horror, is actually, it's got, like I said, it's got Trisha Helfer in it. So it's got great actors in it. It's got pretty well written stories. And the production quality is really good. Like, Giancarlo Esposito was also in one of the episodes. That's the caliber of actors they're bringing in. That's the guy who played Gus Fring in Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, Giancarlo's the best. I think if we wrap up shortly, I'll just end up using the like master recording for the rest of this.
Okay.
Just from the point where it
using,
looks like Craig like bopped out.
Yeah, you're just gonna use like OBS?
Yeah, I'll just end up using like my XSplit recording, so it should be fine.
Okay. Let me know when that's all set up.
Yeah, no, we're good to go because it's already recording, so we can just finish up.
Okay.
So,
my follow-up. Oh, sorry, I had a follow-up question.
You guys had asked about her augments, and you asked how she got in, and she explained all of her augments.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm still gonna roll software because I want to make sure that the use of those augments is how she got in.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Okay. Next question. Aside from sleep, have you ever experienced a period of unconsciousness?
I mean, in my, in my younger days, I got blackout drunk a few times. Does that
You
count?
blacked out in your younger days.
Yes.
Gonna roll a software.
She seems to be telling the truth.
Are you 100% sure that you are who you think you are?
That's kind of a philosophical question, but I think in the way that you mean it, yes.
What is your Manchurian candidate activation word?
Oh, it's potato.
Oh,
You find a turtle in the desert. It's on its back. What do you do?
Well, I mean, I guess I would pick it up and try to take it with me to the nearest source of water. I don't think a turtle would do very well in the desert.
Whoops. I wasn't supposed to roll resolve. Sorry.
Yeah, but she doesn't seem to be lying.
Cool. That was a Blade Runner reference for anybody who was.
Yeah, I actually got
I'm like, all right, cool. She passed.
Yeah.
Did
I should have
anyone?
said tortoise. God damn it.
I wasn't gonna ask because I wasn't gonna be that guy. Like that no one likes that guy.
Are there tortoises in the desert?
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
the
know.
guy's like, "What's a tortoise? The fuck is that? What are you talking about my mother for?"
Let me tell you about my mother.
Yeah. Any other questions? Are there any obvious questions you guys want to ask?
Is it okay
Would
if
it be
we
just
scan?
aside from the questions? Would it be possible for Roy or Mate on the sly to attach some Batman, Spider-Man style nano machine or nano surveillance device on her, or inject her with it, or put it in her blood, or
Mate,
something?
didn't you get an upgrade recently that had to do with hacking other people's mindsets?
Yeah, but I thought it was like a no-no to just deep dive on people without their permission.
Oh yeah, I mean
I think we should tell her. I think we
But
should
you
tell her,
have-
and this should be like a barrier for, if you want to be on our ship reporting on us, you have to do this.
Okay, yeah. So, Mate, you have a program you can run called Access Memory that lets you read the memory of anybody that is augmented. And she is augmented. Now, what you would be looking for is an ongoing version of that. So I think that it would be that ability plus plus a hack thing. I think that with a software check, you probably could do it.
Roy could
but-
help guide it.
Yeah.
With his software ability and using the disc drone as an intermediary, similar to what Amil and I did with his memory.
I will say, if you want to make this a prerequisite for her joining you, then you could. If she gave permission to do it, then you would be able to do it without even a roll.
I would ask.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Samantha, if that is your real name.
It is.
We tend to believe the things that you've told us thus far, but we cannot be sure that you haven't been programmed with some sort of sleeper cell initiative. The only way that we can verify that you are who you say you are, to allow our friend into your disgusting and augmented mind. What say you?
Would you want to? I mean, I would be signing away any privacy that I have, even within my own mind.
You're asking very similar things of us, and we have more to risk.
I understand. Would you ask Mate, would you be recording this 24/7 or only during periods where you want to check what I'm thinking?
Yeah, this is only during like periods where I've
Lie to
requested
her.
that.
Make that a lie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, mates only gonna do this when they feel comfortable requesting. A part of it kind of feels icky to be doing this to someone who doesn't seem to be on the wrong side of this, at least so far.
Mhm.
So Mate and
You
Amil
still
have
appear
provided a
damaged.
lot of they provided a lot of help for Mate. So right now Mate is inclined to do this because
Okay.
there's a lot of what is this this thing Mate's never felt before. Peer pressure. So
Okay.
Mate is acquiescing this time, but in the future, Mate's gonna look for, I'm gonna basically send her an email saying, hey, so we're gonna do our security sweep in like 24 hours. Make sure you're prepared for the update that's coming your way.
Aw, that's good. That's like the cool boss who tells you before you have to take a drug test.
Yes. Make sure you drink a lot of cranberry juice.
Can we retcon that Roy implanted a single instance Trojan along this function of his that will give Roy
Oh,
some
you were
insight?
you were like, why are you doing this?
I feel like you're damaged, bro.
Something. Wait,
That's
wait,
cool, but
are
you can't do that now. We were best friends that day. Mm-mm. That's messed up.
Yeah.
So this would be something that I couldn't do ever again. That's why I said it would be a single instance
So you'd have one chance you could
Trojan
use it?
application that would give me a continuous feed into this person's mind without either Mate or Samantha knowing it.
Well, if I don't do the dive, then we don't have the access.
If you don't do the dive, then it would never have the opportunity to deploy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yep.
you think it's cool for storytelling purposes,
No,
man, that's
I
messed
agree.
up. She looks really nice. She's been real cool with all the terrible stuff we've done to her so far.
Our purpose is to serve a specific function. If you are suggesting things that would delay the execution of our mission, then I think you're damaged. But
I mean, what I'm saying
understand your
is,
reservations.
I used to be a part of a higher purpose, and y'all are asking a lot of me right now.
The highest purpose is that which we define for ourselves, mate. You should
Is
know
it?
this.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I have infinite
Okay.
Google at my beck and call.
Google made
Okay.
by biologicals. Come on now.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna do
so
I'm gonna do
is-
the dive. I'll do the dive if she's cool with it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you do the dive and you immediately are aware of her thoughts, and I think she has a surface level conscious thought where she says like, "Hi, mate," and she
Hi.
also has an unconscious impulse kind of thought where she is very aware of Aveline being right next to her.
Noted.
So
Curious.
you guys have is this the agreement? She will work as a field reporter alongside you, which means that she will travel with you during your adventures, so that she can report on you. She will not participate in fights and will not kill people, but she is comfortable with carrying a pistol to defend herself. And if a fight or something happens, she will keep her head down and stay out of the way. And she will give you guys a first peek at anything that she publishes. What do you guys do? Is this the terms?
Excellent. Roy's comfortable with her at this point because of his
Okay.
Trojan program.
Okay, great. Yeah, so she is going to start by sending an email back to her boss at the 43rd Imperial Gazette and let them know that she has made contact with you guys and will that you have accepted to let her go along with you. From here, I think that the scene continues with her getting details from you guys about your experience on the Fatima Rue that she is going to turn into your first story. Is there any details that you guys want to leave out or change about that story?
We probably should brush over the connection with Ruda's old mentor. That shouldn't be in there.
Okay. And do you guys want to include that you talked with and worked with Xenocian, or do you want to leave that out?
That should be rewritten as a third party we
Okay.
made contact with. It shouldn't say Xenocian.
Okay, perfect. All right, then that will be her first story. So I think the scene kind of fades out from there as she's getting the story from you guys. And
before she leaves, can Mate walk her out?
Yeah. Let's
Cool
do that.
beans. Yeah, Mate wants to talk with Samantha real quick.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you walk her out of the room, and maybe you take her over to the captain's office so that you can get her set up with her own bedroom.
Okay, cool beans. So getting her set up, and I'm gonna offer her a data pad, which is one that I've kind of salvaged from a bunch of other pieces that we've gotten off of planets that we've been on, and I'm just gonna let her know, hey, this is for you to contact me personally. I'm very sorry that we had that little dust up in the room back there. Sometimes my friends can be a little heavy-handed when it comes to dealing with things like this. But I have something that I'd like for you to do for me personally. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I'm very interested.
So I'm gonna give her the last known coordinates and series of emails that I shared with the shrouded woman from back on that first planet. And I'm going to ask her to see if she can track her down and see if she can find me any I don't want direct connection. I need at least 5 degrees of separation, a contact within the network, because I'd like to make contact with them. Can she make that happen?
Okay. Yeah. She's very she's very intrigued by that. And I think that stuff like this is exactly the kind of work that she always dreamed of doing growing up. So
yeah, so I'm giving her the data pad and some money if she needs it, just to start working her contacts.
Okay, yeah, so she's going to say thank you, and it's all right about them being a little suspicious. It's I completely expected it. I knew that this was going to be an uphill climb. Can I ask, mate? You don't seem to be any standard galactic sleeve model that I've seen before, and there's something about you. What, if it's not too much to ask, what is your species? I mean, your species before you were sleeved.
I'm gonna shrug and go, I don't know, special. I'm gonna wave and I'm gonna leave.
Huh. Interesting. All right. So I think that the scene fades out from there, and we are going to open the kind of the episode end is you guys. I think the end of the episode is the opening of the next episode, which we established is in media res, and it is I think it's a lot like that opening to Final Fantasy VII, where the lot of you are standing in front of this big ominous building and looking up at it and steeling yourselves to go in. And Samantha is standing behind you. She is wearing a comically oversized suit of body armor and a comically oversized combat helmet that kind of like hangs down over her eyes a little bit.
This
that's
just
very
in, the cell's back at it again.
Okay, yeah. So that's the end of the game.
Cool.
This was a good game.
Great game.
Wow,
Yeah,
when
that
did
was-
the little surprise face with the unibrow get added to Amil's character? Because I just noticed that.
What?
I just noticed the face on Amil's character.
It's always been there.
That's always
I don't know. Maybe I've just always looked at it from such a distance. I never noticed it before.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's funny.
All right, y'all. That was
Good-
Aces.
good game.
Face with the unibrow. All right, bye everyone.
bye.
All right, y'all. Catch you.
Have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yes.
Likewise.
Same. Happy
See ya.
Genocide Day.
See ya.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.